Hello and welcome all my dear grade 8 elite students. So as you were requesting me, here I am helping you with another video for your term 3 math exam review. So in today's video, we are covering learning objective 5 from part 1, where you are going to learn to apply the law of detachment to determine the validity of conclusions. In today's video, we will cover some important questions, so make sure you watch the video till the end and make sure you also like, share and subscribe to the channel so that you can benefit from these videos. So in order to determine whether each conclusion is valid based on the given information, we are going to use the law of detachment. So let me explain this law to you quickly. So the law says that if P leads to Q is a true statement, if this is given to you and P is given to be true, then Q is also going to be true. So let's take an example. So if a car is out of gas, then it will not start. So what is P here? The statement that the car is out of gas is P, then it will not start is Q. So that means P leads to Q. This is true given to you, and then you are given that P is true. P is the statement, so P is given to be true. So when these conditions are valid, then you could say that Q will also be true. So what is Q statement? Q statement is that it will not start. So there is a valid conclusion that Sarah's car will not start. So this is called law of detachment, and we are now going to use it to solve the questions. So for this learning objective, I am taking the questions 7 to 11 from your math book. Here you have to determine whether each conclusion is valid based on the given information. You have to say whether it is valid or invalid and also give the reason. So in question 7, if you see, you are given that right angles are congruent. Okay, this is statement P. And Q is that angle 1 and angle 2 are right angles. So this is what is given to you. That means P leads to Q is true. And then you have to say whether this conclusion that angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent is valid or not. So let's apply the law of detachment. Law of detachment says if P leads to Q is true and P is true, that means right angles are congruent, then angle 1 and angle 2 are also going to be congruent. So this is definitely a valid conclusion, and this is valid because of the law of detachment that you just saw. Next is question 8. If a figure is a square, then it has 4 right angles. Figure ABCD has 4 right angles. So this is statement P, this is statement Q. Now the conclusion is figure ABCD is a square. Now if it has 4 right angles, then it is not necessary that it is going to be a square only, because it can be a rectangle as well. So this conclusion is definitely not valid. It is invalid and it is not true. In a similar way, we can do question 9, 10 and 11. So let's check the answers in the next slide. Okay, so as we already discussed, question 7 is a valid conclusion because of law of detachment. However, question 8 is invalid because the figure could be a rectangle also. A rectangle also has 4 right angles. So the conclusion that ABCD is a square will be invalid. Question 9 will also be invalid, and the reason is, let's first find P and Q. If you leave your lights on while a car is off, this is P. And Q is your battery will die, then your battery is dead. Okay, the conclusion is you guys left your lights on while the car was off. Now the battery becomes dead due to various reasons. One reason out of many reasons can be that you left the lights on while the car was off, but the battery could die because maybe it was overused, because it was so old. So definitely this is an invalid conclusion for question 9. So question 10 now, if Dennis gets a part-time job, then he can afford a car payment. Dennis can afford a car payment. So this is P, that Dennis gets a part-time job. This is Q, that he can afford a car payment. So P is leading to Q. This is given to you. Dennis can afford a car payment. Now, is the conclusion that Dennis got a part-time job true? So will he able to pay for the car payment only if he gets a part-time job? No, definitely not. There may be other sources from where he's getting the money. So Dennis could afford a car payment because he paid off his other bills. So definitely this is invalid. Let's do the last one, question 11. If 75% of the prom tickets are sold, so this is P, then the prom will be held at the country club. This is Q, and then you are given that P is true. So we are applying the law of detachment. Remember, P leads to Q is given in this question. P is true is given. So therefore, by law of detachment, Q is also going to be true. So what is Q here? Q is the statement that the prom will be held at the country club. So yes, definitely this is valid due to law of detachment. So that is how you check whether the conclusion is valid or invalid, and I hope you found the video useful. So that brings us to the end of today's video, where you use the law of detachment to check for valid and invalid conclusion. I hope this video helped you, and if it did, give it a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you don't miss the notification of my upcoming new videos. Until then, this is Ms. Ruchika signing off from today's session. See you in my next video. Bye bye.